we can hear you.
Why do you think the king was wise and more experienced?
Well,
Stand up when you're speaking.
well, I think he was more loyal and wise because you Patriots don't know what y'all are talking about. Like, you need Britain. You can't do anything else without us. So that's my thing.
What do you mean they can't do anything without Britain?
Like, they can't protect themselves from the country. What if the Indians come back? Then what are they gonna do?
All right. So, one of our Patriots have a response to that. Would you like to respond?
I want to say that how does Britain know what we need if they're not in the colonies? I have to ask.
You have a response, Mr. Hutchinson?
Well, just because we're not in there doesn't mean we don't know what you need. Why do you think we passed the Stamp Act? Why do you think we passed Townsend Act?
Why did you?
Well, we passed it because we needed money for the war, and y'all probably needed more stuff in your houses.
Why do you think we need that? Do you know us personally, all of us?
No,
So then how do you know?
I choose not
Oh, it's taking a turn. Okay. Isaac, do you have a comment?
This is for Benjamin Franklin. Why is it true that you were a longtime loyalist and became a patriot?
I became a patriot because because King George was not fair and I wanted independence from King George and he was making unfair laws and I just didn't like the unfair laws, so I became a patriot.
All right. Any response to that from the loyalist side? Alex?
Well, at first you weren't in you didn't agree to be you didn't have you didn't want to be independence at first. Why did you not favor? Because you didn't favor independence at first.
And that's coming from Jonathan Bell.
Well, if I want to throw side with the Patriots would get us into a war, and I don't think we want a war. And if y'all want a war, we can have the war right here, right now. And I don't think you want that. But
Why would they not want that?
because they know that the British will win.
Why do they know the British will win?
Because we have a bigger army, and y'all have is y'all little militia that volunteer people.
Do y'all have Mr. Adams, Samuel Adams, do you have a response to that?
I think the reason why we choose a war is because we've tried talking to them and sitting at the table, but it didn't work because they can choose their own. They always say no, and they always choose their own answer.
Do you have an example of that? Was there something about the Olive Branch Treaty that was sent to the king?
Yeah. We did
What
it.
happened when the Olive Branch Treaty was sent to the king, Mr. Franklin? What did he do?
He sent it right back.
He sent it right back.
He didn't even bother opening it.
He didn't even bother opening it. The Loyalists, do y'all have a response to that? Why the king is not even willing to read their letters, their offers of an olive branch? Do you have any response to that, Mr. Hutchinson?
He doesn't want to hear y'all complaining. He's like, well, we want this, we want that. The king really doesn't really care what you want. We just want to get everything good. So the war thing, it can go on at any time.
All right, Anna, do you have a response to that?
Oh yeah, but what if it was the other way around and y'all wanted war and y'all wanted to be the other way? If it were if y'all chose to be with Patriots.
Is there an incident you're referring to?
I'm referring to the Boston Massacre. You hit our soldiers with clubs. The boys, I still don't agree with what the soldiers did, but still, you're threatening them with clubs. What do you think they should do? Just stand there and get hit?
Do you have a response?
Okay, ma'am?
Civilized people?
Yes,
That's
civilized.
not, I don't even think that's in your vocabulary. Civilized?
Yes,
That's not
civilized.
what that is. That's
So
wrong.
why are you saying that their behavior is not civilized, Mr. Hutchinson?
They hit us with clubs. They hit us with clubs. They threatened Mr. Boucher. They broke into Lord Dunmore's house. They broke all his books. They jacked up his house. You have no reason to go into a person's house and do that stuff. You have no reason to threaten a priest like that. You have no reason.
Mercy, you want to respond?
Yes, I have 3 responses. One, Mr. Dunmore. All right, you're saying that you preach sermons about God, but you're the one teaching. You're the one who's actually teaching, saying that God is just like the king, which is not true. I know that for a fact.
Maybe Mr. Voucher, maybe you should think about saying, God, the king gets his power from God before you should think about that.
How do you think he's such a wise ruler? Y'all are gonna try to attack the king.
But
If y'all try to attack the king, we're not gonna have that.
But
We're
you
gonna
take
have you.
Okay.
you take money from us and
You
you
took-
use it for British goods. You use it for war guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we want a war?
You drive us to that. We don't do it to you. You threaten people. like Mr. Boucher. You're gonna go back to that again.
Okay.
You threaten him. That's why he carries a gun.
And you won't get into my house.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, we're going to have one last comment.
So you deserve it.
We're going to have one last comment from the Patriots, one last comment from the Loyalists, then we're going to go to our next question. Okay, Patriot response. Mr. Franklin, I want to hear more about that. You said we're saying something about unfair laws. Go ahead.
You guys make us pay more taxes and use it for your British war guns.
Okay. What about the Boston Harbor being closed? How did that affect the lives of the colonists? What happens if you close the harbor, Mr. Adams?
Then it's because well, I got something to say about the workers.
Okay.
I think, why would y'all want us to pay more taxes and buy war guns when y'all don't want to have a war?
Because we need it for defense, in case y'all do attack us. So we're gonna use y'all's money to buy guns, just in case.
Tell that Colonel Washington that we're ready. We got 10,000 men lined up, ready to go.
All right. One last comment from the Loyalist side. Is there anything the Patriots have done? You mentioned what they call the Boston Massacre, the incident in the square. Is there another incident where English goods have been wasted?
Ooh.
Mr. Dunmore?
A Boston Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
You pour tea into the harbor.
Mm-hmm.
So we closed the harbor because you wasted our tea. So
We boycotted it.
okay, still
Mm-hmm.
we cannot pass unfair laws and the tea only listens.
You closed the
So-
harbor before you even dumped the tea.
What was that again? Go ahead. No, they didn't. It was after. It was after. So, all right, let's get debate between Loyalists and Patriots about whether to declare independence or not. We have a question for a Patriot. Malcolm.
Samuel Adams, is it true that you are a leader or in a group of a treasonous? Well, are you in a treasonous group called the Sons of Liberty?
Yes, I am, and I did that because what Abigail said, what Mercy said about we want our rights and we want more fair laws for the colonists too, not just for the loyalists.
Do I have a Loyalist response to that? Mr. Belcher, do you have a response to Mr. Adams about why he feels like he has the right to belong to the Sons of Liberty? Is there any event that you guys believe the Sons of Liberty are responsible for? Malcolm?
The Boston Massacre. The Sons of Liberty came and beat our soldiers with clubs, and you said that they fired, that they said they ordered them to fire. The soldiers ordered the captain ordered the soldiers to fire, when it was actually the Sons of Liberty who ordered them.
He said fire.
Yeah,
He said fire. We dare you. Shoot.
What
Yeah, we did.
What about the Boston Tea Party?
That's your fault.
Do I have tell me a little bit more, Malcolm, also about the Boston Tea Party and the Sons of Liberty.
The Boston Tea Party, you waste hundreds of dollars worth of tea, and He was just arrogant, and that's why we closed off the harbor.
Well,
It's not our fault that we closed off the harbor. It's
Well,
your
we don't need to
fault.
pay more taxes for tea for British goods.
You
It's
don't
not
drink
fair.
anything.
Oh,
Okay.
really? It's
Yo,
your it was your idea. It was your idea to do it, and then we.
Independence, we're not gonna keep that, alright? Because once, if we go into a war, our British soldiers are gonna tear y'all up.
So you're saying it's for their own good.
If we're not, you like, what if the Indians come back? What if, like, since they helped you, you can't pay them back for money? They'll go on a war with you. Then you're gonna come crying back to them and say, "Oh, we were soldiers because the Indians came back."
All right. So you're saying that they need you for protection. All right. One final argument from the Patriot side.
If the king wants us, he should be more fair, and we would probably come back. I mean,
So you're saying if the king were more fair with his laws and his taxes, then you would be more supportive of it. You would not feel like you had to declare your independence.